We are a Canadian heavy metal band, Phear. My name is Andrew Suarez. I'm the drummer of this band. And to my right...
I am a Canadian metal singer, Patrick. Sorry. My name is Patrick Mogg, lead vocals for Phear. Great to be talking to you.
Chris Boschus, bass and growly vocals for Phear.
Pat Rogers, rhythm and lead guitar, and no vocals because you don't want to hear me sing.
Unable to join us today, unfortunately, is our other lead guitarist, Alex Zuber. We love you, buddy. He's currently recovering from surgery.
And there's another member I'd like to mention, the drummer that actually recorded the drums for our album, Mr. Mike Harshaw. We had these songs all ready to go, and he came in and added a whole other dimension to them. He created a lot of stories with his drums that I actually rewrote my bass lines completely around, and it was amazing. And then this guy over here, Mr. Andrew Suarez, stepped in to be the live guy, learned all of Mikey's parts, and I just feel pretty honored to have such an awesome drumming team in our camp.
I've known Mike Harshaw since like 2008. We've been ships passing in the night all these years. The man was an annihilator. I watched him annihilating festival stages for years, every weekend, just being on my phone, being like, oh, one day. And now I get to be in a band that he, played on this record. It's a true honor. Mike Harshaw, you rule, bud.
Mikey. So again, apart from money and women.
Dude, why are you still doing it?
What drives me more than anything is just the passion for the instrument. I've been playing guitar for over 23 years. It started with my dad getting me my first guitar when I was 10, and I didn't start learning till I was 12, but just ever since then I've been unable to put it down, and every day just try to learn something new.
Music for me has just always been a way, when I was younger and I was a kid, just to express myself. And when I didn't know how to... What's going on? He just totally ruined my serious moment. Yeah, it was a way to express myself, to kind of, let out emotions. I was very inspired by so many great musicians, bands like Metallica and Megadeth and Slayer and Iron Maiden that I was into at the time. And it just made me want to make that kind of music for people, for kids down the line that, would listen to a classic album that maybe I hopefully had been a part of creating. And they would find the same inspiration and want to also then create music on their own.
And whose poster did you have on your wall when you were growing up?
Samantha Fox.
Whose other poster did you have on your wall when you were growing up?
Michael Jackson.
There you go.
I will say Michael Jackson was the very first big star that I saw. I was like 8 or 10 or whatever, and I saw, it wasn't even necessarily into the music, but I just saw this guy on TV, and all these millions of people were in love with him. I'm like, I want to do that one day, I just...
Bosch secretly wants to be Michael Jackson.
I did have the glove. I had the glove.
Every time he takes a nap, sometimes he goes, hee-hee, in his sleep.
Funniest thing you ever heard on the tour bus?
Yeah, just putting on a show for people is fun, and just bringing joy to their lives for just a few hours. It's, it really warms our hearts.
I've been trying to get the moonwalk right for 30 years.
It was originally going to be called Rampage. When we started playing, it got heavier and heavier, so we decided to go with a different name. And I always liked the name Phear because it associated with the dark music we were now writing, a little darker, a little heavier. But Phear was taken by a very famous 70s punk rock band. So we literally said, why not put a PH in front of it? And it's as simple as that.
I think it was just because you guys couldn't spell and you guys just wrote it out wrong. That's all. And went with it.
We're Pahir, right?
Pahir.
We're Pahir.
Pahir.
Yeah. It is definitely the best kind of collaborative album I've ever been a part of. All the members work together to bring out the best of ourselves in this album. I was so happy about how heavy it turned out because I'm definitely a heavy thrash guy. When we kind of gathered up some new members during COVID, the heaviness just kind of came out, like, new guys, new infusion of blood into the band, and everyone just kind of wanted to make it the most powerful album that Phear could produce, and we definitely did that. I love it.
The Phear family is not just the people that sit in the room or the people that played in this album. This is the first album we worked from note number one with John Howard from Threat Signal, who was able to produce everything with us, along with us. And the mandate was clear from before we even put a note down on tape or computer, was heavy. The word was heavy. Bosch just said it. I stated it again. That was the mandate. We wanted something heavier. We wanted to really step it up. We changed members so we could allow ourselves to have intricate drum parts, elements of prog and elements of thrash and elements of classic metal, power metal. We had to evolve as a band musically as well as the personnel too. Andrew is one of the few drummers who can play the parts to these songs. So believe me, we tried other drummers out. There's this incredible chemistry amongst us. The five of us, Alex is not here, unfortunately, but the five of us have a chemistry that was able to produce what we produced.
And Alex came from a death metal background too. He's played a lot of death metal, and that was definitely an influence because he came in and wrote a lot of riffs and wrote a couple of songs on the album, and just had a very different sort of structuring take on songs. I love the fact that that was a newness that we kind of all grabbed a hold of and worked with. So
I truly felt an evolution in the band. I was a fan of this band before I joined it. I actually had my eye on Phear for quite a while, watching their videos and being like, damn, I want to be in a band
crowd.
like this.
You were looking at me weird.
Anyway.
So you were the guy peering in my window that time?
No.
No, that was
No.
me.
Oh, it was
One of my favorite things when I join a band, they send me the stuff that nobody can hear, right? And they say the text, don't send it to anybody. Get that every time.
I actually did write that, didn't I?
But when I heard it, I was blown away. My elbows were just doing this on the couch, like, bro, you gotta hear it, bro. I was freaking out. Truly an evolution. You can hear it.
Dude, you're in the band. It's okay.
It's awesome. Heavy metal. The Phear is by heavy metal.
Pay here. Written during COVID. It was a lot of darkness involved. Examples of the first single, Save Our Souls. Although in the video, Save Our Souls has certainly taken a much different meaning, but originally it was written about seeing someone not coping with mental illness right in front of me. I just wasn't accustomed to that. And then after that, I'd seen so many people struggling to cope with the state of the world during COVID. And I just wrote Save Our Souls. This is really bad. And so it would add more of that meaning. Aftershock was more about PTSD, which is another, everybody associates PTSD with the side effects of war, but it's also the side effects of trauma, like the pandemic, right? And the loneliness. So again, it was the time we wrote this. During that time, the lyrics are reflective of that, a lot of them. I did write some lyrics, especially about Lisa and life, about changing and starting over and positive outlook and rewriting the script. A message from my heart, time to rewrite my part. That's in the chorus. It's time to, okay, COVID's ending. It's time for us to build again. It's time for us to be stronger. It's time for us to write some positive stuff.
I wrote one of the songs called Bleed, and normally I might write a song musically, and of course Patrick would take over on the vocals, but this time around he said, yeah, go for it, take a shot at writing the vocals and writing the lyrics as well. So I did, and for me, when I write, I tend to usually draw from personal experience, from emotion, personal emotion and experience. And I went through some trauma years ago, and I wrote about that experience. And I incorporated a general theme of connection to people and how those connections can be lost, and whether they can be either lost forever or whether there can be a moment when, two enemies can come together to sort of, purge those emotions. When it was all said and done, Pat was just like, dude, so many words.
There's a lot of words in that song.
Because I'm a wordy person, and it's thorough, but it's also an 8-minute song, so Well, first of all, our main man Fred is on the cover, as he always should be. He's kind of the guy. Well, you think he's running the show, but then there's Reagan in the background, who is really kind of pulling the strings. And this is sort of our Phear lore. You see some of that in our Save Our Souls video. We wanted to show really kind of our album theme, which was kind of a dystopian look on the world, kind of how feels like society is crumbling kind of all around us. And that's what you see in the cover, is Fred just standing there being like, this is what you've done. and here I am to reap the benefits. And he's just proud, and he's happy that there's just destruction all around him. And
What does dystopian mean? Yeah, you're right. That's cool. Okay. It's a big word, man.
learn something new.
Told
every
you it's
day.
wordy.
But yeah, we worked with an artist named Drake Mafesta, and he
Just
kind
call
of-
him an arse?
Did I call him an arse? He's an arse, an artist. And he definitely worked with us to really kind of bring out our ideas, which was really just like kind of destruction and chaos in the world. We wanted to give Fred a bit of an update. He looks a little meaner. He looks a little worse for wear. You know, he's just sort of reveling in the destruction all around him.
Havoc's new EP, New Eyes, is fantastic. Just Pete Weber,
Pete Weber's on that?
Fear Factory's boy.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
It's amazing.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Eye of the Beholder. They covered Eye of the Beholder. Anyway.
Old People, new album, Invincible Shield. I can put on any day of the week by Judas Priest and listen from start to finish over and over and over again. I'm never going to get sick of it. I will put that on the day before I die. It's 40, 50, 60 years from now. It is a fantastic album.
A few albums from the last year or so, the last maybe year or two. Definitely the new Kerry King album. That album is just so fucking metal. It's just, you know, it would have been the next Slayer album, and he took it to the next level, I think, and it was just a fantastic album. The newest In Flames album, which came out, was called Foregone, and one of my favorite bands of all time is Machine Head, and their last album of Kingdom and Crown, just, oh my god, just a metal masterpiece. And I know they've got a new one coming out really soon, and I'm salivating for the new Machine Head.
I would honestly say in recent months, the new Dream Theater album with Mike Portnoy back in the fold. And even though they're not a metal band, they're one band that I hold dear in my heart is Sum 41's final album, Heaven and Hell. They had like a nice return to form from their classic punk roots, and then the other side was kind of like their more modern metal sounding stuff, and it was just...
I have heard that's a killer album.
It is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I'm going to miss those guys.
There's a tear going down Patty Pat's cheek right now.
Which will roll all the way back up into his eye sockets when they come back, like they all do,
Of course.
and they do another farewell tour.
That's true.
Toronto has a very diverse metal scene. It's fantastic. So many bands from back then that are still around today. Razor, Killer Dwarves. And again, I think this album fits so fantastically in the history of Toronto heavy metal. I truly look at it as a moment of high quality, heavy metal with fantastic writing, fantastic players. It's an honor to be a part of this record and be a part of the story that continues.
Oh, you're talking about us.
As well as so many other bands. Oh my God, Villain
okay.
just dropped a new
I
EP.
thought we were talking about Sacrifice
Ammo's
there.
working on a new release. Sumo Psychos, they keep going. They're fantastic. It's so many. Panzerfaust.
And the Toronto scene can sometimes tend to get a little polarized in terms of like its diversity, being almost like too diverse for metal. Like even amongst that, I find that, you know, it has some pretty diehard metal fans.
They're just super loyal people.
Yeah,
and we
yeah.
love them to bits.
You know, I do wish there was more of those metal fans in Toronto. But hey, man, we love y'all.
Currently, the band is working on a streaming setup. We're ultimately getting ready for what our live show will be in the near future. But if you visit our Instagram, you'll see kind of what's going on. And we have a LED screen. We have what else do we have, Patrick?
Lasers, strobes, moving lights, smoke, CO2, blah, 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 blah. Everything you can get.
We
We're
have
gonna-
real
we're gonna
dragons.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Yes. If you've seen us, you understand. If you haven't seen us, come out. On the poster for the club, there's always a warning, and it says, warning, this show contains strobes, flashing lights, moving lights, lasers, smoke, CO2, because it's fucking awesome.
The warning is really just for Pat's laser gloves, because he gets them on and he tries to blind people in the crowd and stuff. You know?
My kid is Chrome. I already went blind. He hit a tom and
You're part of our family when you're coming to the streaming part of things. You're seeing us rehearse. You might see us fight. You're going to be in our rehearsals with us, getting ready for live production. We have videos coming out, right?
New World Error, lyric video coming out.
We have 4 covers that you're not allowed to know about.
Megadeth.
Stop. Slayer. Stop.
Jesus Christ.
Anyways.
Iron Maiden.
Stop. I don't know. Everybody got a cold there for a second. We have 4 covers that we will release throughout 2025, plus more songs off of the Save Our Souls album. We're in pre-production for the song Aftershock, which means we haven't written what the video is going to be like yet. So
Pre-production just means Pat has an idea and wants to do something.
I haven't presented it yet, though. I need to draw it up. We're going to be playing live as of the fall. We'd be playing live right now to support the album, but Alex needs time to recover from his surgery. He's all good. He's the metal threat. He would have loved to have been here, but he just had surgery 2 days ago. But he's all good now. So once he's recovered, we'll be on stages everywhere that'll see us. So you'll see us getting ready for that.
Really wish he was here. He's such a character. He'd be perfect. So much info about the production of the album too.
But we only have 4 chairs.
That's okay. He can stand.
The guy who had surgery can stand.
Just kidding, Alex.
James Hetfield.
Thank you.
Ozzy Osbourne, Randy Rhoads, Zakk Wylde, Burper Dang. Like so many
I feel like we should all be
amazing
falling out
artists.
of our
So many
chairs.
bands. Lemmy.
He's having an out-of-body experience right now.
Lemmy is the reason why heavy metal is so amazing. Like, yeah. Just need I say more? Like, come on.
I'm going to give you a serious answer. Get comfortable. Go get a coffee or a cigarette or something. So, have you noticed with today's stars, Post Malone, Taylor Swift, Kendrick Lamar, Drake, Travis Scott. Is that a guy? Travis Scott? Sounds familiar. Give me a country
Machine
artist.
Gun
Tell me a
Kelly.
country. What's a country artist? Morgan Wallen. You know why metal rules? Because it's bands. It's not a person. And guess what? Every one of those persons are doing what they do, and all due respect to them, with a whole bunch of people making noise behind them, not getting any credit for it. Heavy metal is bands. How many acts? Led Zeppelin is a band. It's not one person.
Touche.
You realize we're never going to be able to open for Drake now because of it.
Yes, I do. You're welcome.
Started from the
Or
bottom. and
Taylor
we're
Swift.
I have
at the
nothing.
bottom.
I have nothing against any. Like I said, all due respect to those artists, but they're a single person. I come from a time when I listened to bands. I like heavy metal because it's bands, and that's my serious answer. Pick whatever one you want.
Heavy metal rules because of Satan. Blah.
Did you say Satin? What?
Not Santa.
Oh, I thought you said Santa. Santa, like
Hail Santa.
Metal rules just because it's fucking powerful. It's a release of energy. It's community. Thousands of people getting together to smash into each other and you know, kick each other's asses, but it's like all positive, and they're releasing negative energy, and they're coming together for their love of these like amazing musicians they're seeing on the stage, and it's just that energy. It's just the energy of it.
For me, it rules because it's probably just one of the best outlets for whatever emotion you may be feeling at any given time. Be it happy, sad, angry, throw any metal album on. It'll just lift your spirits no matter what.
That's a good point you say, actually, because like a lot of people, non-metal fans, that will talk about heavy metal, and I may be at work or something, listening to some metal, and somebody's like, oh, I can't listen to that music, it makes me angry. And I'll think, man, when the times when I'm feeling angry and I'm feeling aggressive or I'm feeling tense, I'll put on the heaviest album I can find. I'll put on Slayer album. It'll just chill me out. I'll just be relaxed. I'll feel good.
Yeah, it just has the exact opposite effect for us.
Yeah, exactly. That's what people don't understand about us metalheads.
See, when I'm listening to metal and people ask me, God, how can you listen to that stuff? I usually just tell them, well, simple, with my ears.
Andrew, Patrick, Bosch, Patty Pat, and we are Canadian metal band Phear! And you're watching metalrules.com.